Good morning, everyone. David here from the Neum AI team. I just wanted to showcase a bit of an overview on our pre-processing playground. We announced this a couple of days ago. It's based on some of the LangChain text splitting playgrounds that were released. But we wanted to really focus on the full pre-processing end-to-end. Pre-processing in the context of large language model apps and retrieval augmented generation RAG is the process of taking unstructured data and pre-processing it into chunks that can be embedded. The process of doing that pre-processing is actually quite crucial because the quality of your actual embeddings and the retrieval of those embeddings is very highly dependent on how good of a job you do pre-processing. And it's not just as easy as saying I'm going to chunk into 200 into pieces of 200 words long and be done with it, because there are certain context awareness and certain intricacies into making the best chunks possible. And so with our pre-processing playground, the idea is that you can come in here, upload any file, and be able to play around with the different levers that we give you so that you can come up with the best pre-processing strategy for your file. Once you've come up with the best strategy, you could leverage it yourself directly using tools like LangChain. But you can also bring it over to the Neum platform, where you have the same levers that you can configure into the platform, and you can let us handle the process of processing all of your data and be able to do so at a really large scale, terabytes of information at a time. And so here, for example, I have a simple doc that I've uploaded into the system, and I'm using the unstructured loader for. Unstructured is really good for docx, and so I'm gonna go ahead and load with it. We're gonna skip over metadata and embed selectors right now, but we'll get back to them towards the end of the video. And then I'll pick the text splitting here, and I have a choice between recursive splitters or like character length splitters. But in this case, I want to showcase our smart chunker. We're gonna do another video where we go much more into depth as to what that smart chunker is doing. But for now, the idea is that this smart chunker is context aware, so it's helping us come up with the right chunking strategy given the piece of text that we have. And so here I can see the quality of the chunks generated. For example, for my document, they actually look really good. The chunks are keeping the question and answer in the same chunk, which is really important. You can also see that the smart chunking capabilities that we had created this small code snippet that it's using for chunking, which I can simply copy paste into my application if I wanted to leverage it. Like I mentioned, I want to go back to the selectors for a second. And so to do that, I'm instead going to go ahead and upload a CSV into here. I'll go ahead and choose a CSV loader for it. And I'm going to enable our metadata selectors. With things like CSVs or JSONs where you have property bags, it's really important to think about what columns out of those or what properties actually make sense to embed versus which ones are just metadata. For example, something like if I have a product listing that has a price inside of it, that price doesn't really carry a lot of semantic value and it's not going to really provide a really good embedding. Versus things like product descriptions will provide a really good embedding, and we probably want as one embed. So for my given listing here, I'm gonna use some of our built-in intelligence to help me understand what I should do with it. And so I'll go ahead and say, okay, give me some embedding properties, and it tells me that the product name, description, and features are the properties that I should embed. And for metadata, it tells me to embed kind of the rest of the things, price, rating, some of the other properties. And so I can come back in here, and in this case, I'll just use like our recursive character splitting, and I can see what type of job it does with the current stuff. And so you can see that out of the values that it has, it was smart enough to help us ensure that the chunk only carries in the really semantic information, and the metadata is the rest of it. I can also generate some smart chunking code as well for this, using the chunker that we have enabled. We recommend that you give this a try. If you have any documents that you think you could use help with pre-processing because they're maybe complex or they have different intricacies inside of them, I recommend that you come in here and try it yourself and give us feedback. If there's anything that we could do better or any additional levers that you would like to see exposed, happy to do so as well. As always, remember that if you want to take what you see here and take it kind of to the next level to start processing thousands of documents that you might have within your organizations, feel free to take a look at Neum AI, where we can help scale that process for you using the same types of levers that you see here. Until next time, thank you.